Alrighty. I think we're back in action, are we? Maybe? Maybe the mic will be better if I put it like that. I really should have it closer to me, to be honest. Right. Another day. Another day. Making folklore stuff. We back at it. We are, Ranger. How's it going, man? How's the tech world treating you? Just doubled my hard drive space today. 16 terabytes. Holy. God damn. I don't know if I want to ask what you need that much space for, but nice. Very good. Yeah, I got not that much. 3-4 terabytes. I actually bought because I had to upgrade my PC the other day. I got another M2 drive, or what do you call it? NVMe, and realized I already had two and only had two slots. So I got this external case. So there's just an NVMe in here. I haven't plugged it in yet, but yeah, I guess that's kind of pretty handy to be able to do that external NVMe. You love archiving. Nice. Very good. Very good. Right. So today I want to show a little bit of the Mothman creature. So spoilers, obviously, if you're watching this, but because there's a couple of elements I'm not sure if I'll work on it necessarily today, but I've been playing around after streams and stuff and at night with some VFX and that, and kind of want to show you guys where I'm headed with that. Before we get to the AI stuff, which will probably be very soon. I think we just need a few more things done on the map, and then we can start looking at that. Because I need to be honest, start picking up the pace a little bit with this development of the Mothman hunt. But yeah, we're going pretty well. So anyway, here is a work in progress of the Mothman. With a bunch of effects that I am playing around with and testing. So, and obviously in a test scene, really you would be seeing them mostly at night, so it would be more like this. But now that I have explained kind of what we were, what the story and stuff was yesterday, some of this will make a little more sense for me to talk about now. I think I was just before stream working on these smoke particles. I think they're a little bit extreme right now, but we can work on that. So yeah, we got the moths we made up here. This guy is actually giant right now, just for me testing. But yeah, I'm playing with basically a bunch of effects to help the creature during the hunt be able to essentially like change. So if I turn off like some of these particles and the eyes possibly, you can see there's pretty much the baseline creature. The wings I've honestly, like, maybe once we're done I'll go through and show you like all the versions I've made of this. There's been so many because I keep going back and forth on how I want it to look and changing the wings and changing stuff like that. But I'm pretty happy with the latest rendition direction, to where I'm pretty happy to go ahead with it. But yeah, I think the one thing is the eyes I'm not super happy with right now. But you can see, if you remember the the lore we were talking about last time, where a quick recap is, I can turn these particles back on because the eyes look very cool, I think. Maybe the smoke too. Essentially, black moths were uncovered, which was a species of moth that was lost to time, basically, by the military, and they were essentially weaponizing the black moth venom in what's known as Operation Blackwing, to create surveillance weapons for the war. Obviously, this didn't go well for them, failed experiment. They managed to create one successful test subject, who then killed everybody, essentially. And he's been stuck on this island ever since, trapped by the high-frequency emitters that mess with the flight of basically the wings of moths and bugs and stuff like that. So you can see with some of the design of the creature what I'm going for, and again, obviously stuff can change and whatnot, but it's kind of separated out into this more or less humanoid shape, because this actually was a person, a prisoner, who the military basically, you know, I don't have a good term for the process, but transformed into a surveillance weapon, Mothman. So they were ideally supposed to be surveillance soldiers that could fly. So that's why it's kind of like a skeletal person looking thing, which is, to be honest, a little bit different than a lot of the, if you just Google Mothman on images. You know, I keep going back and forth between maybe like more of an owl looking creature, but I settled on this because it allows me to do more creepy lore stuff, I feel like, having a human. So the idea basically is going to be that the body of this guy is basically completely messed up, and he's basically driven by the moths. So when this guy's animated, which I have a couple of test animations, but we're going to work on that probably in a stream coming up, he's mostly just going to be limp, just sort of ragdolled, and the wings and his head are going to be controlling everything. So he's kind of dead, sort of. But yeah, so this is post cocoon Mothman. And obviously in the hunt, you know, you ideally won't see him kind of, you know, too openly like this, because it kind of ruins the effect. But there's going to be potentially times where you see him without the wings, you know, with the wings, or even sometimes where appearing just as the eyes, more or less, with the moths. So there's going to be a few different like appearances, but I guess his full form is, you know, essentially like this. So yeah, I thought I'd just show that off in case anyone is interested in seeing my progress in that regard. Again, I'm trying not to do too much of this on stream just yet, because things might change, and I'm still like I guess messing with ideas and stuff, to where I don't want people to get too like upset if they like something and then I change it or whatever. So yeah, interested on people's thoughts on this and how it looks and everything. I think I'm pretty happy with the style. It's definitely pretty horror related. It's got like lots of cool particle effects. It's got that mystical element of the, you know, the eyes and whatnot, and then it's got the uncanny valley, hopefully, effect of, you know, basically just this messed up person. So I think with the creature, what I'm going to do is remove these eyes. So his eyes basically are gone. The red particle effects seem low to me. Oh, you mean the eyes? Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going to sit those, to be honest. on his head. Like, I don't really want them to be too high either, or it looks a bit dorky. Yeah, I'm not sure, and I need to play with the scale and stuff, and you know, get this kind of finalized and that. But you can kind of see what I'm going for in terms of the more or less the silhouette. Because if you look at a lot of pictures of Mothman, he really doesn't have much of a neck. Yeah, the model is pretty cool. It's a mix of me finding stuff online and retexturing it, like this guy, fully retextured by me, but the model was sculpted by someone else, and then pretty much everything else I made. So it's been quite a lot of custom work, which is why it's taken quite a long time. You see my skinning is not perfect, like his fingernails are not skinned properly, but yeah, so this is going to be kind of the idea with the Mothman. I think it's creepy enough, I think it's good enough, and I think I like the uncanny valley of it's like this basically messed up person. So yeah, that's where we're at on that. Again, things might change. I'm going to continue to play with things as we go, but I'm pretty happy with this direction now. Well, I'm definitely happy with the direction. I'm just trying to decide on the final, like, the final look of it. But part of that will probably happen as we make the AI in the actual map, because in a test scene, things can look pretty different. Like, for example, when the wings move around, you can see the way the particles don't move with it and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm trying not to like fully finalize this just yet. I'm kind of trying to make all the pieces so I've got them and we can change things or mess with things as we go. So the other form I think I talked about last time is the this light thing. So in some of the sightings of Mothman, recorded sightings, he appears as essentially a bright light. Whether or not that's actually Mothman, and honestly, whether or not Mothman's actually real, probably not, honestly. But I'm trying to include. I do I have it somewhere here? Find it real quick. I basically have this essentially like a case file. I have it easily on hand. I think you guys might have seen it in one of the previous streams. Basically of... I'll have to find that for the next stream at least. Oh, that's it there, yeah. This case file of the Mothman, and I basically went through a whole bunch of, I mean, you can, maybe you can't see very well, it's kind of awkward to show you here, but there's basically a bunch of documents that I printed out and highlighted different sightings and tried to include a piece of all of them in this hunt. So that's what this light is basically, and how it's going to be included in the map is probably early in the hunt. There'll be times where you see this light and it will, you know, move around, potentially follow you, lead you to locations. And it's going to be basically like a form of the Mothman as well. So the way that's going to be explained in the lore, by the way, in case, I don't know, hopefully you guys have seen the last stream. I went through a deep dive on the lore and the story of this hunt. But because he's a military surveillance weapon, or that was basically what they were trying to do, this is going to be essentially like a form of camouflage, more or less, or an experimental form of camouflage. Like if you imagine this way up in the sky, it's super bright, so it basically like covers, like it makes it so you can't actually see what's inside it, and it also messes with the infrared and thermal vision as well. So it's basically like a military tech, but I'm not sure if I'll explain that necessarily in the hunt itself, but that's kind of my headcanon of what these lights actually are, and why the Mothman sometimes might appear as just a light. Probably before he's aggroed, before he's pissed off. But he is violent. He is a failed experiment, well, technically a successful experiment of the military, who has basically wiped out everyone on the island and gone rogue, and now has been trapped here on this island since he was created in the war. So he is definitely going to be vicious, essentially. So, yeah. Yeah, Jenny, I'm not sure if he'll actually cocoon himself in the hunt. He probably won't. He'll just already be around. But there will be times in the hunt, I'm hoping, where, especially in the biolab, where you'll see the other failed test subjects where they are still stuck in their cocoon, or basically like, smaller versions of let me show you, like this, without the eyes and the ears and stuff like that, and probably more blood. But yeah, hopefully you guys think that's cool. It's pretty much what we're going to roll with. So I just wanted to show you where we're at on that, and some of the particle effects and stuff. During the hunt, there might be times where, for example, I play with some of the stuff like this, and we have different different effects happening with the wings and stuff. So he, that's not a very good example, but he'd be more like in a example, but he's basically in a cloud of black, and essentially what I'm trying to say is I'm gonna have different versions of him throughout the hunt as well. So yeah, that at maybe like 20 or something. So the exact settings I'm not sure, but I know I want to have some particles to go along with it. If only you had a... Yeah, I do have that other scene set up, don't I? I don't know if it works. Should we try it? Oh, yeah. It does work. I mean, I don't know if any of this is going to be that interesting to you, and a lot of it is not relevant anymore, but if I look in my case file... Yeah, it's because there's a bright as light right behind the camera. You're definitely not going to be able to see that. You're not going to see it if I hold it. Basically like level designs, map designs, documents, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'll digitize this stuff and put it up in like a collector's edition of all my notebooks and notes for the game that I've created at some point. But anyway, I wanted to show that off today just to let it, germinate in everybody's minds in case anyone has any ideas or thoughts or anything like that, and to hopefully help the context of when we're making the rest of the map, because now we're starting to get into the actual biolab and stuff of what we're working towards for this. So yeah. Anyway, we are going to do more map stuff today. Hopefully it's not too boring for people. But I still have a good amount of work to do in the map, so I want to get cracking on. Ideally what I want to do today is this is the spot we did last stream, by the way, or one of them. This kind of back area here, where these are remnants of the ancient civilization. So again, a quick recap of the lore of this map, of this hunt, is this island had a many thousand-year-old ancient civilization who resided here, and they basically had these black moths, and when that civilization crumbled, those moths were basically lost to time, and at some point archaeologists or the military found these ancient tombs, ancient vaults from this civilization, cracked them open, discovered this new species of black moth, and they were basically you know, the venom of these moths were essentially transforming people into giant people moths, basically. So they basically, during the war, wanted to weaponize that as a surveillance weapon, and then the one layer on top of that, which is still we may do, we may not do. And sorry if I'm reiterating if you've already heard this stuff, but just in case someone's watching this and not the last one. The modern day, so we have ages ago, ancient civilization. Then many thousands of years later, military faction who are now interacting with that. And then after that, after the military created the Mothman through using the black moth venom to transform people, then they were all wiped out, and the modern day descendants of this ancient civilization then came to this island to basically try and essentially like worship or commune with the Mothman, because the black moths were a big part of their civilization. So when you see areas like this, these are the ancients civilization that was before. I don't really have a name for them yet. I'll probably have to come up with something. But then the newest stuff you can see here is essentially a cult, more or less. I'm not sure why. Is my camera lagging for everyone else, or is that just me? I might need to tweak some settings on that. But yeah, so that's kind of the... Is it my whole stream or just my camera? It's just my camera, isn't it? What the hell? Hang on. Is it in split cam? Nope. Is it in OBS? Fix it? Nope. It's not just you. I think it's on my end as well. Azidians? Sure. Let's do it. Why not? Azidians. Azidians. I don't know how we're going to pronounce that, but sure, let's do it. I don't know if my camera's going to keep lagging or what the friggin' problem is there. I think it's because I held that page up and freaked out the auto exposure. Anyway, so yeah, this is one of the spots we did last time, which is one of the areas where you will start to see some of the remnants of the civilization through various pieces of crumbled ruins. And these things are the high frequency emitters that are basically trapping Mothman on this island. And you start the hunt on this part of the island, eventually can make your way across this bridge to the military compound and the research lab, which is where they basically were creating or doing the experiments. The definitely Geneva Convention, that probably didn't exist back then, but war crimes all over the place here. I probably shouldn't have said that on Twitch because they might ban me, but yeah, they had this military base, and then a secret Operation Blackwing took place under here. So yeah, and then we put the bridge in. Just a quick recap of what we did, and a recap for me as well because it helps me get started. So a lot of this is locked off from these chain fences. To get across the bridge, you're going to need to break through these, which, if you remember, we made the bolt cutter item for that purpose specifically. There might be a few other places in the map that I let you use that item. It's just kind of like a gimmick of this hunt, I guess, like a unique mechanic. Yeah. So it's all coming together. The biggest spots I still need to do before we can start, like my goal right now is to get to have the main locations that are part of the story done to the point where we can actually finish essentially the playthrough. Like we can actually play through the hunt by implementing the AI stuff as well, and then do another pass after that on some of the more minor locations. So this is one of potentially the major locations I need to do, or I might just give up and turn it into a forest. But I was thinking this, or I think Jenny suggested it actually, having this as like some sort of civilized, maybe like some cabins they were staying in, or Ranger suggested camps and stuff like that. Yeah, so we have that. We need to finish this radio tower and this radio tower are the two main locations. We need to this one's probably done enough, the military base. I did this before I even started streaming again, but I have enough of the locations in here to a degree where we can actually make some gameplay here. And what else? Any other major locations that I need to do? Potentially the Ritual Grove, which is not really, well, it might be a grove. This is essentially that the modern day Azedians. How do you want to pronounce that, Ranger? Their like little cavern or camp or whatever here. And then obviously the research lab is the big boy one. And then Azedians, yeah. Okay, cool. This is like the main story locations. Azedians. Azedians, I like. Azedians. Get it? ANS. Not that I'll probably actually this is something we're going to do in a stream coming up. I'm going to create the sound effects and probably do I'll probably be the voice of the Mothman, unless anyone wants to step in for that. But yeah, he is actually going to speak, the Mothman, and he's mainly going to speak through radio and technology, which is why I am making such an effort to make sure there are places with radios that he can speak through. And it's actually really not him speaking. It's actually, again, this is just my lore. I'm not sure if I'll say this in the hunt, but because he is a military experiment, they basically embedded military technology within him to where he can communicate back the surveillance, because he was supposed to be a surveillance weapon, to the military. So that's why. So it's almost like telepathy, but it's like digital in a way. If that makes sense. But yeah, so that's why he's not actually going to speak, but he can communicate through technology, which is also a part of, from what I've been able to uncover, the actual kind of reports of the Mothman. And also that movie, I think, played with that idea. You know what that movie was called? The one with Indrid Cold? Anyway. So yeah, that's another, tie-in to make people feel like hopefully I'm doing justice to the Mothman story. But a lot of it is obviously just me creating my own story around all this stuff. So I think the first thing I'm going to do as an hopefully easy-ish start is do something with this area here, because this leads into the two most, like interesting lore-wise locations that basically answer what is going on. Yeah, Range, I'll hit you up in Discord. I'll probably make a post in Discord if anyone wants to try some voice stuff for this, but it's going to be heavily like manipulated and digitized. So yeah, so this area is pretty important to make look cool, because this leads to both the biolab where the Operation Blackwing was taking place, and then also around to you know, the part of the island that actually has the nods to the ruins of the civilization. So Anubis. Yeah. Yeah, if you didn't catch the last stream, it's kind of weird, but the ancient civilization I'm going for is actually a pseudo-Egyptian civilization. So mainly because that's just the easiest, you know, like it's gonna take too long for me to design my own ancient civilization. So I'm basically just gonna leverage one that exists and just manipulate it. So I might get rid of these, but essentially the archaeological dig. Let me show it actually. My camera's lagging again, isn't it? Frick's sake. I wonder why that is. It's gonna be, yeah, essentially an actual kind of Egyptian, but not actually Egyptian, Assyrian temple tomb. And this is where the black moths were basically breeding over time, and this is what they uncovered that basically allowed the moths to you know, become extinct or whatever. I don't know like how to explain that, but this species only existed in ancient times, and they were preserved because of this tomb, basically, these tombs. So yeah, I know it's a little bit strange, but it's just what I'm gonna roll with. It's just how it's gonna go. I probably will customize some of these textures a little bit, and possibly mess with the actual Anubis head or something to make it a little bit different. But yeah, it's what we're gonna do. It's what we're gonna do. I've decided. Because yeah, like making all these sculptures myself is gonna take too long, so we're gonna do that. But anyway, I want to make this area kind of cool, because it's a semi-important location, a reasonably important location. So I want to make this, since there didn't actually used to be a lake here, but since we have one now, I'm gonna make the most of it and actually turn it into something that is like somewhat intentional looking. So basically what I want to do I don't have a lot of room to do this. First thing I want to do is have like a bridge, basically. Across this water here. Because people might not just walk through it if there isn't a bridge. I just don't know where exactly I'm gonna have it go to, because this rock's kind of in the way. Like I really would like it maybe like, yeah, like this. This angle's good. And we'll edit this stuff to make it fit. Because a lot of that military base right there is set piece stuff, like non-accessible buildings. Some of them are accessible, but a lot of it is just setting the vibe, basically. So we're gonna have this come across here. That does mean we're gonna have to basically not have this go straight into a whole bunch of rocks. I think the easiest way is going to be to basically make some sort of cliffside kind of thing here. But I'm really proud of the evolution of this hunt in terms of Folklore Hunter. Like, I'm basically like putting, since it took so long to do, it's not ideal, but the upside of that is I'm able to bring in all of my new, like all of the things I've learned over the years and all of my skills creating this game and other games to be able to make something that I am really proud of and take the time to do it kind of as well as I can. So yeah, I'm really happy that I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Basically, like, I'm really proud of the story and the creature and you know, the map and just the way everything's coming together. It's a shame I'm having to like rush a little bit because you know, if you've been following the Folklore Hunter stuff, it's, you know, things got pretty hairy financially for a wee while there because you know, the game did reasonably well. It was pretty successful early on, but that kind of didn't last for a huge amount of time. And you'll know I was hired Lemon and was paying him for a long time, and costs and stuff like that kept building up to where you know, the finances were not looking so hot. So you know, I've basically like put together a fund for me to be able to do this full time with you know, I have a family to support and stuff. So that's the reason I kind of have to not rush, but like I can't just spend as long as I want doing this stuff. I have to kind of you know, be realistic about the time I'm spending. So but in the time that we have spent, I'm pretty stoked about how this has all come together, to be honest. What we've been able to achieve. And I think it's going to be a really cool hunt. I hope people like it, and I hope there's still enough interest in the game for people to still be interested, basically, in the game and playing it. You know, there's potential there won't be, but I won't know until I do it. So I'm planning on, if I can, if the release, the full release, the 1.0, goes well enough financially. Unfortunately, I hate having to always bring it back to financials, but I mean, it's just the thing. Like, it's you know, it's either if I don't make enough, I have to go get another job, and then I can't do this anymore. But I want to try and bring it to consoles, is essentially what I'm saying. So hopefully we can do well enough with this to make that a reality. Because I think it would be cool. Like, it's a cool game that I feel like, you know, consoles would be a good market for this kind of game. Like, I feel like people that are console players would enjoy this type of game, I feel like. I'm trying to be careful with how I describe console players. Slightly more casual players, let's just put it that way, I guess. You know, like dad who just got home from work or whatever. So I really want to try and bring it to them, but again, it's just a case of whether there's still enough interest in the game for it to be not even profitable, just be able to make enough that I can essentially keep doing it. Is all I'm hoping. But you never know. We'll see. I might have missed the boat on all this, and that's fine too, but it'd be very cool to be able to bring it to consoles, I feel like. Let's see, how am I gonna... we do some massive ones, maybe? Yeah. I always hit this point when I'm uh developing an area where it looks like crap. But uh it's basically a case of just keep on um following my instinct until we get an area that, like, I just basically have to trust that it is gonna look cool. Like right now this just looks like crap. But yeah, if I just keep on working on it, it pretty much always does end up looking pretty cool. Well, in my opinion anyway. So we'll swap a few of these for broken ones. Make sure these aren't like straight, basically, because remember this stuff is supposed to be really old. Okay, so now it's kind of like more interesting area to walk down. You know, I think it's gonna be necessary to have some more stuff probably under the water. So it looks like, you know, there's remnants and ruins around. Okay, and then I just need to, I feel the need to cap the edges for some reason. Exactly what? Suppose we just do something like that then. So if I turn on my snapping again. How's everyone going, by the way? Hopefully everyone's having a good good day. What I'm supposed to do as a streamer, right, is like engage the audience. Slide how I want us to. That, I suppose. Now, duplicate, bring this across, and it should snap to the right spot. Grab maybe just that many and snap these over here. I've really put I've really tried to basically do my absolute best I possibly can with the level design in this hunt, and it potentially is overkill compared to the other hunts, but I've really tried to focus less on how big the map is and more on how much interesting stuff there is in the map. So I'm really hoping that comes across when people play this, and yeah, because I'm not like a great level designer or anything like that. I'm basically a pro. Like, my career has been as a programmer, gameplay programmer, but you know, with indie dev, obviously you have to kind of do everything. So I just have to do my best at everything. So yeah, so that's just gonna have to go into there for now. But now this is looking a bit more of an intentional area, which I think is cool. We could potentially even look at blocking a few more sight lines, maybe? Yeah. Pure human statues, but with moth butterfly wings, would look better and likely wouldn't be too tough to cook up. Yeah, I do agree. I just don't know if I'm going to have time to do that, is all. It will be easy to swap them if I have the asset. Don't you dare restart my computer right now. I better save just in case it tries to do that. Yeah, no, I agree, Jenny. It's just a tricky one, you know, like if I'm gonna have the time to do to get things exactly how I want. Like I just, you know, I don't know. We'll see. As I say, I can replace this stuff if I do find the time to do it, but it's important to me that we have something to play, rather than me trying to make everything perfect and never releasing the hunt. So I definitely get where you're coming from. It is like, you know, it's pretty recognizable as Anubis, but they're not furries. Come on. Yeah, it's just a timing thing, you know. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. That's all I can really say. Is you know, I'm gonna try my hardest to make this this hunt as cool as I can. But you know, you know, like my basically it's gonna be done in whatever form it's at. Pretty much by the end of the year. So yeah, I just don't want to get stuck in the details too much too quick, and then if I do have time that I wasn't expecting, then I can go and tweak things and replace things. But there's stuff in other hunts as well that I'd love to spend some time on, and that, so it's tricky. I don't know. I'll look into it though for sure, whether it's going to be achievable to pull off, you know, finding or making some custom statues. Alright. This is going to have to go somewhere. This is going to have to go somewhere. Clearly. And we're getting to the part in a second where it's kind of mainly a foliage problem. Not problem, but foliage pass. And then this area will be feeling pretty good. Thanks, Jenny. I appreciate it. I always appreciate the support. I really do, honestly. Like, yeah. You're always showing up to these and making an effort. So I do really appreciate that. Especially in a world where, you know, the game is not as popular as it once was. It's still really special to have you guys hanging out and still supporting what I'm trying to do. Yeah, it's very cool. In fact, it's basically one of the only reasons I still do this. Otherwise, I'd just go work and make accounting software or something. So I very much appreciate it. And yeah, I know we have probably a good amount of people that watch the stream and don't comment, just lurk and stuff. And yeah, I just want to let those people know that I do appreciate that as well. Like I appreciate, even if you're not speaking or anything, it's still very nice to know that people are, you know, interested in what I'm doing and interested in the game and willing to support. Yeah, okay, cool. So we have this little area going on. I'll do a quick foliage pass. We're going to need to do a lighting pass probably because obviously, well, maybe we don't. I don't know. I feel like there should be some lights in here, but maybe not. Maybe it should just be dark at night. Is it this? But these in this area. It's gonna be probably a little hard for you to see. It's gonna basically add some extra fog around the objects, which I think is cool. Probably just want to mainly have it be that. You should see now, hopefully, might be hard to see on the stream, but on the water now there's little patches of fog and stuff rolling through, which is pretty cool. And now, yeah, as I said, I just need to do a quick foliage pass. So I guess what I'll do, I'll start with some bigger trees. Like I don't really want people going this way, so I'm just gonna make sure I kind of signify that with trees. Possibly having one or two in the water could be interesting. Would a tree grow like that? Anyone know? Probably not, huh? Gonna crash out? Alright. Nice to see you, Ranger. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Like literal crash out. Oh, you mean like collapse? Like leave the stream. You would never do that to me, would you? All right, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. That whole thing I keep talking about, where we're focusing. And again, don't take my word for it, because I really don't really know what I'm doing. These are kind of things I'm figuring out as I go, but trying to focus the attention on the path that I actually want the players to take, and discourage their attention from areas where I don't want them to go, like here. You can go there, but I'm trying to tell the player where the interesting stuff is without forcing them to go that way, if that makes sense. So like having some of these around here, especially up by these rocks, is going to help that situation. Now you feel, well, hopefully you do. You feel what I'm going for, where it's trying to basically lead you down this area here, and not so much here. Maybe here, I don't know, we'll see. I might just block that off. Kazeta, first time chat, welcome in, man, nice to see you. Thanks for hanging out. I saw, actually, yeah, you gave me a follow a wee while ago too. Appreciate that. I don't want to say it in case you were trying to be a sneaky lurker. I always hate when I go on streams and like people will be like watching the like who's in the chat, the viewers, and then they'll like call you out and stuff. I don't know. It feels weird to me when people do that. So I wasn't ignoring you, but I was trying to respect your potential willingness to desire to stay in the shadows. All right, so I'm gonna really outline this area to make it feel like its own kind of thing, which I think is working pretty well, if I do say so myself. I love these little trees. I love trees and rocks, man. Got any trees? Got any rocks? But yeah, it's making this area, I don't know, it's hard to show you. I should take a screenshot and then show you, but like before when I was talking about how areas feel kind of like a bit ugly, and then I just have to trust that as I keep working on it, they'll end up looking cool. This is kind of like what I mean, where, at least in my humble opinion, this has now reached the point of looking cool. Please tell me these are not all misaligned. Some of them are. Good. We're good. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm happy with this, especially if we something like that. Here's me being pedantic, but I actually want to swap the side that these are on, because that one is covering the statue, and I would rather them look at the statue on the left than the one on the right, as they're coming down here. Yeah, you're watching from an Xbox. Wow, that's cool. I never thought about the fact that people could do that. Yeah, no, all good, man. No worries. Yeah, I'm sure that's like kind of a pain to to chat on an Xbox, huh? Okay, I can't really do that because it's gonna mess up the water. Can I do a bush, or is that gonna mess it up too? That messes it up. Can I do this? Because of the way the water's rendered, it's I can't really put bushes in the water, but that's fine. That's fine. This area is probably good enough for now. I don't want to overdo it. We might have some like lily pads or something I could put in. Water plant. Doesn't really make sense, but it'll make this area look cool. Oh wait, can I not do this either? Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't look as cool as I thought it might. If I can't do this with plants, I'm going to have to figure out some other thing of interest to put in the water, especially right here, because otherwise people jump in, which isn't a big deal. Like if I walk down this right now, ignore the blurry screen, but you definitely can just jump in here. It's not even that deep, but it will look cooler if people walk down the path. So I kind of want to like put something there so that. But yeah, I think this is coming together pretty well. I don't know what you guys think, but this area is feeling pretty cool. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. Oh, I got a Coke. I don't need to make coffee. I'll just go to the bathroom and I'll be right back. Okay, so we got this area, semi. I don't know what's going to be over here just yet. We'll have to figure that out, but I'm not too worried about it. I think now I just need to work on connecting some of this up. So let's work on a little bit of the pathing now. So from the bridge, obviously, put an old net. Old net. Do we have? Let's see if I have a net of some kind. Like fishing. And we actually have, wait. We actually have some fish potential animations too that I could make particles out of. Fishing, like dock. Might not have any assets like that, but I can maybe look into making one. Alright, so let's see. We're gonna need to have a path go like somewhere here or something, and then up to here. So bring this through the forest. here. Okay. Gonna need to work on the way that looks, but that's fine. And then if I want you to be able to access it from this side, I'm gonna have to do some terrain work here. Let's see, maybe a flatten. Like this. Trim back some of that a little bit. Yeah, there we go. But having a weird little island bit right there. Let's. Here we go. Now we've got room for a path. So we're going to take it this way. We're trying to get to somewhere over here. Right, and because this has become kind of a major-ish intersection area, I'm going to just kind of spread out the path a little bit. Like that. All right, nice to see you, Kazeta. Definitely love to have you back again if you want to check in again at some point, but I appreciate you stopping by. Alright, so we now have the paths laid out to this area. I feel like we just need to make this now do something. Probably just like some really sunken in stairs or something is going to be fine here. Okay. Hide that ugly spot with some bricks like that. Alright, that's pretty good. Happy with that. So your sight line as you're coming down the path is going to be right here, which is fine. I'm actually just going to block quite a bit of this off with cliff. Saying that, ideally I would still like you to be able to see that. Raise the orb out of the water if you have to. Yeah, right, like make it way higher. That's a good idea. I think that might work, but yeah, we could definitely raise them all up for sure. No, I think that might be fine though. Idea. Okay, go. Go, go, go. Fallen tree. Between the rocks and invisible wall. Here? Also, I thought you left. Like fallen tree there. Yeah, we can try that. We can try that. I think I might actually have a... It's really hard to see. You throw a fit at your teacher. Oh, is that what you were trying to say before? I just completely misunderstood what you were trying to say. So fallen tree like... that kind of thing, you meaning? They can't... You can see the orb, but they can't leave the trail. Yeah, I think something like that would work, right? And then invisible wall, you're saying, so you can't like climb up, that kind of thing. Sure. Do not sound convinced, but okay, let's go with it. It's not what you meant. Oh, that is what you meant. Okay. Alright. Very good. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do quite a lot of invisible walls in this map, which is annoying. I try usually to avoid it, but I think it's worth it for something like this. Because like I've gone to the effort to put that thing out there and give them lore and stuff and make them mean things, so, you know, it makes sense to let you see it. Yeah, that's cool, I think. Push it back a bit. Oh, right. So you're saying you want them to actually be able to get onto there? We can try that. Like, yeah, you can parkour, but only this far kind of thing. Is that what you're getting at? It's like walk up the tree or whatever and have a look, but you can't, like I'm holding forward, I can't jump into the water. Yeah, that's quite cool actually. That's a good idea. Range of the game dev, huh? Nice. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I like it. Yes. So what was I doing? I was putting fencing this area in a bit. Yeah. I have noticed you've changed your major a good few times there, buddy. That's good though. You want to like do the thing you want to do, you know, not just like commit to something because you're already doing it. Game dev is, well, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to put people off, but it's pretty Wild West, if that makes sense. Game dev, as in it's like, maybe it's different now, but at least when I was trying to get into the industry, there was not really a very clear path on how to get into the industry. And then when you did, it was so like kind of risky all the time. Like, you know, game companies go out of business all the time and all that. But I mean, it is fun though, obviously. That's pretty much the primary reason I think most people do game development, is because it is fun. Not always fun, but it is fun a lot of the time. Alright. Cool. This is getting good. Alright. Pretty happy with that. One semester left, it'd be a hard to switch. Yeah. Almost finished. So you're still studying, huh? For some reason I thought you'd finished studying. But yeah, it'd be pretty brutal to switch right as you're about to finish. Do we get a big boy tree in here as well? Make this all too dense. It's already too dense. That tree needs to go. And some of these also need to go. Otherwise, I'm not directing you down this path. You need to see like a clear, there's somewhere to go here. Alright. It's good, I like it, yeah, and this leads on to here. Sweet. Okay, now let's look at, I guess, this part. You guessed it. You guessed what we're going to be placing more of. Frickin' versatile rocks in existence. Actually, now that I say that, that is something that we should probably do a bit more of back here. Is just having occasionally some like rocks that are not like full-size cliffs just help it like blend into the map better, I feel like. So it doesn't just seem like there's no rocks and then suddenly boom, cliff. Just gotta find a good little layout for it, yeah. See what I mean? Possibly some more somewhere else. Where? There, because that fucks with the path too much. Cool. We're definitely getting there. In terms of this spot, I still don't really know exactly. This tower, obviously, we need to do something with. I need to really try and stay focused on not getting too crazy down in the details, because I need to get this hunt playable pretty soon. So I need to just stay focusing on the main areas that like gameplay is going to actually revolve around. Yeah, it's good. For some reason, feeling one in the middle. Okay. We're getting there with that. That's cool. Much of this do I want to cliff up? Let's try it. So if I had it like that, then that definitely leads you over to this area. Not sure what I'd do back behind here though is the problem. I guess we'll worry about that when we get to it. But I'm basically just trying to like isolate a little area for us to work on here. Which I guess actually what I can do is if I go landscape, flatten, we just pick like here maybe. Now we have like this little ridge that actually makes sense for there to be an area that's a bit more closed in. It also leaves the opportunity for me to add a back area here, which I may do. Like down this way. It's just there's not much of interest back here, and I don't know if there will be. So I don't know if we'll do that or not necessarily. All right. So now we're into the spot now to do this tower. That's good. And you know the process by now, basically, or at least my process is block out like big shapes, then you know, potential sculpting, and then foliage details. Yeah, pretty much just that, really. But yeah, you do need a way to get up to this tower, so I'm gonna go to the old faithful bunker thingy and see what we can do here. Now, I don't want to spend ages doing this, so for this one, we might actually be able to just use like a prefab. Like one that I've already put together ahead of time. Yeah, that one's way too big. What we could do, yeah, something like this. And then potentially we could actually have the tower be on top of this. Isn't it? I could do that as long as it's not an enterable building. If it is enterable, then it's a problem. I can do that, and then that just makes my life a little bit easier. And now we just need to build around that. So building meshes. And am I going to be able to squeeze in? Squeeze in a way to get up there. It'd have to be like that, but then do something like that, wouldn't we? It's kind of weird. Yeah, that's not going to work how I want it to, so what we'll do instead is just grab one of the floors. At all. So strange of a spot though, if I do it like this. It's really not probably how they would build this at all. Can always change it later. Yeah, I mean, God's sake, it really doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Let's see. These. This is where, like, I really should probably be, and if you're doing this for yourself, should be using, like, reference of what these kind of buildings actually look like in real life, so I'm not just kind of making up weird things that don't make sense, but you know. Damn, it's so tricky to get this how I need it to be. There it is, sort of. Well, I guess without this bit, because like, you can't really do that if you're gonna. All right, there we go. We got something, and now it's just a case of cap the at the end of this bit. Cheeky wee stretcheroo on those, and yeah, and then let's see. So then it would be, I don't know, themes. Yeah. Ish. That is fine-ish, I guess. There we go. Oh my goodness. What a pain. Let's go with that. So now you can get up here, and I can put fences and stuff on the side of it. But now you have a way to get to this tower, which is good. So let's see. I suppose I could have just done a ladder. Okay, it's gonna have to be like that. All right. Very good. Now, so that's the bit where you can actually kind of get into the area. Do I want to put something in here? Maybe I'll leave the option there. In case I do put something there. But I think for now I can just close it off with a door. Okay, and now this is slightly not on the ground, so let me do the sculpting part of this now. Yeah. So if I go landscape paint, I really want people to actually be going this way. Which they'll figure out on their own, but you know, a little bit of a path will help with that. Okay, not sure if I really need much else here. Other than, yeah, like maybe a few props or whatever. The old classic fuel barrel. Every game loves them. Mm-hmm. Very good. And we would definitely have some lights in the area. Possibly one pointing out this way. It's just a few various ones around. That. Here. Okay, very good. Got those. Smart around here. Some general military junk, maybe. And then once I do the foliage, it's all going to be kind of, you know, like overgrown and. Okay, don't go too much more overboard with detailing, really. AC units and all that, like that's definitely going to be later on. Papers and documents and stuff. Could be like a detail for like up here or something in a few spots. As if, where is it? As if someone was maybe sitting up here, keeping an eye out across the water or whatever. That makes sense. Supply box as well. Could make it so that he has this like wicked view, but he just watches TV instead. Again, this is exactly what I was trying not to do. Get into the details of all this stuff too early. Can allude to a little bit of environmental storytelling here, I think. And then up the ladder. Very good. Okay, now I guess we'll just do a foliage pass unless I can think of any other details I want to put in here. I mean, would it make sense to have sandbags up here? Maybe for cover or whatever. In case there were, say, this like tower was getting attacked. You know, hide behind some sandbags or something. That'll do. That'll do. I could just sit here all day, like micro detailing this whole thing. All right. So now, I just want to do. Actually, one thing first is I should probably do some sort of decaling, maybe. Let's see. Hang on. What did I have over here? Steal these. Yep. Because there's already decals there. On the door. There we go. That'll do. Okay, now let me do a foliage pass. This one. And this, you'll see, will really help this area come to life. Foliage adds a lot to an area. As long as I am careful not to overdo it. Okay, that's pretty good. And then we do the ones that I love the most. You can see we placed 1,000 of these already. These little mini pine things. Freaking love these things. They just do such a good job at like enclosing a space in. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully you can see how much of a difference that makes. It's pretty insane. And now, because this is abandoned, I'm going to actually foliage up a little more than I would if they were actually using this place. Probably good for that. And then if we go for some bushes, perhaps. Really got to fix the shader on these freaking bushes, man. Bushes should help this feel more like overgrown and abandoned. Pretty well. Potentially we actually even do a few on the roof. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Spot. Alright, now this feels like a old sort of overgrown kind of, you know, abandoned tower thing. And then the puzzle is, oh, the door's closed, how do we get in? You know, you have to explore, and it's not really a puzzle, but you know, make the player think a tiny little bit to how to get in there and do what they need to do. Moss. Probably as a decal. What are you thinking? Oh yeah, moss on the building top instead of shrubs. Yeah, maybe actually. Probably a good call. It might have to be a decal situation. Look of it. Sure if that's a very good texture for this, to be honest. These ones are alright, but they're so low res. Maybe it'll be fine. Particularly great, but then this is an area that the players aren't really going to be intentionally going to a huge amount. It does help break up the fact that this is all just grey concrete, which is kind of cool. Just tuck it into corners where it's just like I'm just hinting at it. Probably fine. Yeah, like maybe some dirt. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Makes sense. Because yeah, then we could do like ground decal, I think is what I've been calling them. I need to sit down and figure out what decal is what. It's for the Wendigo hunt. These are... nobody knows. Got cracked concrete. Cracked stone. Need to try not to spend too long doing this because I can just get stuck doing this forever and then make not as much progress on the stuff I actually need to be working on. That's the moss one we were looking at before. I mean, okay, being completely honest. Yeah, I don't know. I swear I just had some like grunge decal stuff. Maybe not. Maybe it is one of these. No, that's concrete. These all just look like concrete, maybe. One just a big old pile of mung. Stuff. Yeah, what the fuck? Really? I guess I'll have to dig through these off stream. But I really thought I'd made sure we had some grunge decals. But anyway, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Cool. So this area is pretty happy with it. Could maybe do with a wee bit more detailing. Especially in the front here, and figuring out what's going to happen back here, but it leaves an open area. Worst case, I'll just forest it, and it's just more foresty area to play with. Grab one of these light things and put it at the top of this tower as well. Good. Those are hard to see unless it's nighttime. Actually, while I'm doing that, let me put them on the other ones as well. Get one over here. Here as well. Yeah, but as I say, those are hard to see unless it's nighttime, but when it is nighttime, it's pretty cool. Okay, what's next? That area has something now. Because people are just going to want to walk out into the water there. Yes, for now what I'll do is I'll just forest some of these areas. If I don't know what I'm going to be putting there. So that at least, you know, there's something. Clearly left this behind when I was just testing stuff. This area, yeah, I don't know, I guess the path can go... Yeah, I don't know if I want to draw people to this area or not. Just gonna make a few more like semi-finished-ish forested areas just so that we have a decent feel for how the forested areas are gonna be. Definitely is no real science to this, it's just kind of me clicking until I feel like it feels how I want it to feel. Basically, the main thing I'm looking at is I'm trying to make it so that you have a sight line, but it's not too long. Like I don't want you to be able to see too far, basically. And extra dense in some areas by paths. Just to make it feel like when you leave the path and go into these areas that are more dense, I want you to feel like basically you're going somewhere you're not supposed to go, more or less. Like you feel like you're taking a risk by stepping into this forested area. I still need to come through and do rocks in a lot of these spots as well. These areas I'm less like concerned with how they look because they're more just like gameplay space to kind of explore and hunt and fight and stuff. They're not like story driven spots or anything. I don't need to put as much thought into making them, you know, exactly perfect or anything. Good. So it's going to be quite a decent amount more dense than some of the other maps. This map was a big thing that I wanted to try for this hunt. Was making it harder to see, basically, further. In some areas you still can, but you can see it's more like, I guess, alpine exploration, with still some forested areas to explore. So that's kind of what I'm going for there. I think, did we cover pretty much everything? I think it's just a case of I need to definitely put some more of these rocks in. Leave this spot like a little bit more open. I do want to make this back here though as dense as I can basically get away with. They are blowing people's computers up. Because that's the edge of the map. So I want to try and like make it super obvious it just disappears into nothing back there. And I might put some cliffs and stuff in there too, but yeah, there you go. I don't know why all the trees went orange now, but yeah, this is feeling pretty good, I think. I'm just going to do a little bit of a rock pass and then evaluate where we're at after that. I do need to do something with these shorelines still. That's that open area we left, is it? Yeah. So this would be a good spot for some more rock formation. Not necessarily sightline blocking ones, just like ways to add kind of some detail. Because if I just have big open areas like this, it can sometimes feel like there's nothing going on, no detail, or, you know, it doesn't feel very finished. Use our good old friends, the rocks. Should, hopefully. Be able to make some of this feel a little more intentional. Why is there a camera there? Gotta be a little bit more careful in this spot because this is potentially where I'm going to link up a path. So maybe I'll leave that alone. It's more on some of these areas. There we go. So I don't know if you can really tell. Maybe actually one more back here somewhere. But to me, let's go. Yeah, to me this feels a lot more of a finished area now, just having the some of these like rocks poking out of the ground. I don't really know why. I guess because it's not just like empty landscape, it's like there's something placed there, so I guess this is how it's supposed to be, kind of thing. Yeah, here's a one of the more open areas. And yeah, and then this ideally would connect up, but that's very tricky to squeeze that in there. Try. It's, I guess, more of like a hidden way to access this part. There's not really any good reason to go down here, really, but I just need a way to direct them a little heavier to the left. Probably with a pillar. More like that. There we go. Now we're directing people pretty hard to the left around here, so they actually like line up with this properly. I'm going to partially put that over the path too, so it hopefully makes it seem like it's not really somewhere you need to go or want to go. But you can if you want to. Alright, so this bit's good now, I'm pretty sure. This rock is a little bit full on there. Because now we've messed with all the paths and stuff. If I really want to hammer people to the left, I need to put something else back here, further back, so they're prepared. Well, actually, could do a real oversized situation here. That's kind of cool, actually. I like that. So this is going to feel a lot more secret now, this entrance. Well, ideally, if I do a good job at it. Because we're really making this look like a wee crevice in the rocks. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty freaking cool. Go back to these guys. Do a little bit more funneling back here. There it is. Nice. Very good. This is kind of like a cool little spot now. A little bit different than the rest of the map. The back entrance to this area. Because I don't expect many people will be coming from this way. They'll probably come off the this area. They'll probably come that way and discover this little spot. Which there probably will be nothing back there. Maybe some loot. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm going to leave the stream there. That's some pretty damn good progress, I think. We've covered a lot of ground today, which is good. I've blocked out most of the areas that matter, I think. Other than that one other... Like this radio tower, yeah, we did that one. It was this one we still haven't handled, so that will probably be the next one. Then it's just a case of the start area and... the tomb at the end, and then I think we have the places we need to actually sort of start playing through this, and then it's just a case of tidying up a few loose ends like this, either making them nothing or putting something interesting there. Yeah, so once again, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next stream. In case you didn't see it at the start of the stream, here is a little sneak look at kind of the design of the Mothman and the direction we're going to be going for that. But yeah,